You guys ever wondered how many dimples are on a golf ball? They say it's anywhere from 3 to 500 dimples. And the crazy thing is, I always think about the person who had to conceptualize the idea in order to make this golf ball do what it does today for every golfer out there. That when the ball lifts and is spinning and is smooth, that the dimples and the lift allows you to land where you got to get to. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to conceptualize. Let's go. Hey familia, in this video, I'm going to show you how conceptualizing ideas and bringing them to life is the key to success. Bueno, mi nombre es Noan el Boricua, and I just want to say welcome to Fuel Pasión Friday. Como siempre, it's around la cultura, around faith y conexiones. And this was actually a great conversation I had with a peer of mine this week that really had me thinking as I was driving home. You guys ever have those moments where you're driving home and all of a sudden you kind of start really thinking a little bit deeper? So I got home and I really started kind of digging through and kind of like reaffirming myself. So here's the thing. In today's world, it's so difficult to be able to stand out with your music, with your art, with your business, maybe with what you're trying to do as an entrepreneur as well. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. There are so many ways to be able to get your idea out there, but if you don't know, then how can you do it? So here's the thing. I think one of the first things that we need to understand when we think about conceptualizing ideas is understanding that we need to brainstorm. Now, here's the thing. A lot of times conceptualizing an idea, it could be by yourself or it could be within a team. But I think one of the first things we need to understand is how do we take our thoughts and really go from a concept to a reality. And here's the thing that I think about. Now, you may be asking yourself, first of all, Noan, why are we talking about like ideas? I think one of the biggest things that I've learned as I've been going through this whole like YouTube, IGTV, podcast, a lot of times we don't understand the importance of when you need to conceptualize something. And I think for me, and I kind of want to like backtrack a little bit. A lot of times we feel that we know how to do a lot of certain things if I was given the opportunity, which is great. I love that. I love people that want to take initiative. But I also want people to understand that you need to put in the work. And a big part of that is, how can I give you something and you then conceptualize the idea and then bring it to life and bring it back to me? One of the things, and I'm going to kind of reference this amazing article from Harvard Business Review. Shout out to Renee Molina Jr. because he's really got me on reading a lot of the articles. This one was back in 2018. But I think to set this up, if you want to bring an idea to life, research is the most important part of bringing that idea to life. So a lot of times, no podemos saber, right? We can't know if our idea will work without what? Probándolo, testing it. So you have to find ways to be able to test it, ask questions, invest time in order to really make it real and to be able to present it to a peer or a team of people. But I think for me, when I think about the author, one of the first ideas that I observed in this article was the following. In this article, they talk about these unconventional inventors, but also unconventional thinkers, and how they like focus their attention closely with like these fresh set of eyes. And I think one of the biggest things that as we learn how to bring ideas to life, how we start learning to be able to conceptualize a presentation. And there's like 3 phases, which I really don't have time to get into this. I just want to start with the first one, the conceptualizing or how to conceptualize this first phase. One of the biggest thing is understanding that there's some like elements and framework to this. One of the first thing is understanding like breakthrough. And I think a big thing is, look, how many of you guys ever driven, or maybe you were working out, or maybe you were like, I don't know, riding your bike, skateboarding, and like the idea hit you? How many of you guys actually grab your phone and actually leave a voice memo about that idea? Those are what I'm talking about. When we think about being a storyteller, when we think about being an entrepreneur or being a great business partner, is understanding that there's this breakthrough idea that we need to put down on paper and that we need to start really building what's called this framework. But one of the biggest things about that is that, I'll give you an example. For me, as I've wanted to learn about podcasting, what did I do? In order to be able to conceptualize Fuel Pasión podcast, I needed to listen to podcasts. I needed to watch a bunch of YouTube videos. I needed to go to, key websites like Anchor, Buzzsprout, Apple Podcasts, like all these different things, and read. Why? Because information is key to be able to bring your idea to life. The other point that I like to present is, as you've gotten already to the point of understanding kind of like the idea, and you have like phase 1.0, I would actually say take a step back. As the great rapper, Big Pun would say, lean back with Fat Joe. But I think one of the biggest things is that we need to learn to step back to be able to expand your understanding. Now, follow me with this. How many of you guys ever zoomed in on a problem only to find another problem? How many of you guys have zoomed out to see overall holistically why maybe the problem's there? How many of you guys have actually asked somebody to look at the same framework and ask them if they see something differently? Remember I talk about fresh set of eyes? I think this is where we need to understand the power of teamwork and the power of understanding great peers, and also just like these great innovative thinkers that are very unconventional, that may see something that you don't see. And I think for me, the process of what we've learned is, I think a lot of times we get so, I get it, we birthed this idea, but can I challenge you to be able to detach yourself from that? Like, change it up. Or maybe take a strategic break if you're getting frustrated. Because I think one of the biggest things that we need to understand is, think about, for all my sneaker connoisseurs and hype beasts out there, how many times did we get so upset about certain shoes and designs and like ask ourselves, what was the designer thinking? And it's not until you actually see them on a YouTube video, or maybe they're on another video where they actually explain to you the process. You detach yourself from what you're married to, right? This idea or this concept, and actually say, yo, that's a fresh set of eyes. I never thought about the inspiration behind this particular item. It's the same thing with the golf ball. With the golf ball, going back, I just forgot I'm gonna put the year. They actually had like leather and feathers, and like they utilized all these different materials over the years, because they understood, if we're gonna have this amazing product that's gonna be the key to the sport, we gotta constantly sometimes detach, get a new set fresh of eyes, I hope I said that correctly, and we have to take partnership in order to understand, how do we conceptualize this item that we want to be able to make each and every athlete better through the sport of golf. Yo, fun fact, I've only golfed once in my life. Shout out to my brother-in-law. We went to Painted Dunes in El Paso, and I'll leave it at that. I've never, I didn't know that on the golf course there's someone called the marshal, and I thought that was like the police, but I guess it is the golf police. And let's just say I apologize to Painted Dunes in El Paso. Gorgeous golf course. That was the last time I ever golfed. And one of the last things that I kind of just want to, because I might do this another part 2 version next week. Let me know if you guys want me to do this. But I think one of the other things that I love when we think about innovation, when we think about conceptualizing, how do we break through this idea, the idea that I have or you have, and how do we bring it to life? One of the last things I want to talk about is, in order to be able to produce, as the author of this article says, an original idea, you need to free yourself, free your mind, free your imagination, right? Challenge the orthodoxy, right? Envision what is not. And I'm going to quote this quote, but functional fixedness often limits the ability to think creatively or conceive of alternate uses for familiar objects and concepts. It goes on to say, overcoming this barrier requires asking the uninhibited question, such as, why not? And what if? As Van Phillips did when he, created this requirement that prosthetic limbs resemble human ones. His now familiar C-shaped blades help amputees to be able to run, jump, much the way able-bodied athletes do. And as I read that, end quote, I read that article, I thought that was crazy, because I remember what we think of as the amputee, but then we see today our athletes of what they use, and it's these blades. Ladies and gentlemen, who would have thought of that? Who would have said, what if? Or why not? I hope that as you're journeying in your career, your education, hey, ask that question. Be willing to understand you may have to go against the current of all other ideas, but at the same time, I ask you to get the buy-in. And I ask you to just be open-minded to be able to hear from a fresh set of eyes exactly what you're trying to do, and that they can help you see something that maybe you don't see. It happens to the best of us. Even the greatest storytellers, inventors, businesses, it happens to all of us, athletes. Sometimes you need that person in your life to challenge you, to be able to unlock the greatness within you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this, just this thought in the moment that I had. And shout out to my peer that kind of had me thinking about this idea. And as always, check us out, Pasión.com. And I just want to give you guys an update. Thank you so much. I am actually going to post every Friday just kind of updates of everyone that's been donating. Remember, we are trying to raise $25,000 for Have a Soul for Giving Tuesday. Remember that the goal, now, this is the goal where we're at right now. And the goal is, here it is. If we can get there, we're going to have someone that's going to match it. So we want to ensure that we can get that $25K. My role in this, let it be $500, $600, $700, $1,000. We just want to be able to give something to be a small part of this bigger plan and bigger idea. So if you would like to donate, just know you can get a shirt from Fuel Pasión Podcast, where if you donate $25 or more, let me know what color, black or white, what size, and I will put my Venmo here. And the goal is that I will make sure that all that goes back. Now, and for those friends and family that are watching this, we hope you can donate $25 or more. You get a shirt. Let me know. We can send it out to you. And that's all I got for you guys, man. Thank you guys so much. Y como siempre, como dice mi abuelita, que Dios te bendiga.